Why narcissists are so argumentative. If you are in a relationship with a narcissist, or maybe you aren't sure yet, you might have that feeling your significant other might just be a narcissist. I'm hoping this video will help you gain a deeper understanding of what to look for and who you are really dealing with. Whenever you approach a situation with a narcissist or a problem you are having with them, it might just be something as simple as a slight disagreement. Do you ever notice that they like to throw out that word "you" over and over again? Narcissists hate being confronted about anything, and because they are emotionally weak to begin with, they will respond to you by projecting everything you say back onto you. They will say, "You can't do anything right," or "You should have done this," or "I already told you this." They will say anything to put that focus back on you. They are trying to put you into a defensive mode right off the bat. This is their way of avoiding any responsibility for what you are calling them out on. And the level of significance of the conversation, it just won't matter. It could be something as simple as bringing up who was supposed to do the dishes or the laundry. It just doesn't matter how big or small the situation is. People in healthy relationships understand that there is an element of give and take. People that are emotionally healthy don't overuse that term "you." They don't try to put people in a defensive mode. They would rather talk it out. They look at things objectively and figure out how to come to a realistic and fair conclusion. Now, there's nothing wrong with defending yourself, but that is different than someone who gets into this selfish kind of mode, or they start giving off this vibe like they are more entitled than you. Narcissists won't look at both sides of a disagreement, and that is something you should be keeping an eye out for in your relationship. Does it seem they can never look at any situation objectively? Or is everything totally subjective with them? If you are nodding your head yes to this, then you most likely are dealing with a narcissist, or at least someone that has some narcissistic traits. They are very fragile when it comes to their ego, and their main coping skills consist of blaming and accusations. They have a very hard time managing any type of stressful situation, and because of this, they will resort to taking the low road. They just don't have enough inner strength to deal with the stress in a productive way. And because of their low self-esteem, they resort to lashing out and will say hurtful things. They will say things that will make you angry. They will show zero regard for your feelings. They will do anything to dominate you and control you. And they do this because they are afraid of your differences of opinion. They will whip out that entitlement attitude, like everything needs to go their way, and remove any glimpse of equality you might think was there. And during the argument, the disagreement, or whatever the current issue might be, they will unleash their alternative reality. They will start making things up on the fly because the facts just don't matter to them. Whatever they are saying at the time is the truth, period. They will manipulate every aspect of the conversation and remove any fairness. Whatever angle they take, that's what they will go with. Any scrap of empathy will disappear, and any sense of understanding just flew out the window. And everything will always circle back around to that word I mentioned earlier, you. The reason narcissists are so argumentative is simple. They are weak. Oh, they might try and come across as this strong, tough person, but over time, they become so transparent, you will clearly see how weak they really are. When you start to get a strong grasp and understanding of who they really are and what they are really all about, the more objective you will learn to be when you are dealing with them. It's very important to understand this. Narcissists have huge trust issues. They are paranoid people, and that makes it very difficult for them to accept any differences of opinion or any situation that they might disagree with. And this all ties in to why they are so weak. It's also important to understand that narcissists are just not happy people. Oh, sure, they can put up a front from time to time and pretend to be happy and outgoing. But deep down, just look at how often they criticize you, how they seem irritable all the time, and how easily they can be agitated. And this is why they become so argumentative. Maybe something in their past caused them to think, if there was going to be a difference in opinion, or if someone was mad at them, someone was going to get shamed. So they learned over time that by being the one to pronounce shame on the other person first, that gave them the upper hand, some sort of satisfaction, some kind of twisted justification for treating that person like shit. As long as they were able to avoid the pain, the shame, and the responsibility for what they did, they didn't care how bad it hurt the other person. This is their way of diverting the attention back onto you. People with emotional strength think through things. They analyze themselves. They think about how situations might affect other people. They have a plan on how to deal with emotional stress and how to better manage their life as a whole. But narcissists, frankly, they don't give a shit about any of those things. They just think about ways to devalue others, belittle others, and they do whatever it takes to avoid any accountability for anything. So when you are dealing with a narcissist and an argument ensues, you have a couple different options. You can get down in the mud with them and go toe to toe. I'm sure most of us have tried that. But where does that get us? It only gets us to a lower level of intelligence. I'm just being honest here. Going tit for tat with a narcissist is a very dangerous thing to do because they don't know what a fair fight looks like. They just don't fight fair. When their lies and gaslighting starts to hit you, you will be left defenseless because you don't use those kind of tactics. And seriously, do we really want to stoop to their level? So instead of getting into that mess, maybe try and say a couple of these things, just to see if it will keep things more calm during a conflict. Try to find something you can agree with them on. Maybe say, I hear what you're saying. I understand that this is important to you. I can tell this really matters to you. Okay, I get your point. Try and show them that you are being objective. You are listening to what they have to say, and if that doesn't get you anywhere, and they don't want to hear any of that, just tell them straight out that you aren't going to get into this argument with them. Set some boundaries and let them know what those boundaries are, and then follow through with those boundaries. For example, when you tell them you have decided to do something, no matter what it is, and they tell you that's just a stupid thing to do, just respond with, yeah, maybe, but I'm going to do it anyway. Or if you hold a different opinion on something and they tell you, you are just wrong, respond back with, well, it makes sense to me, so I'm just going to stick with it. Remember those boundaries. Don't defend what you say or do. There's no need for you to. You don't owe them any explanation for what you do. When you argue with a foolish person, it only makes you foolish right along with them. And trying to convince them to go along with your beliefs will get you nowhere. Arguments with a narcissist are just a bunch of noise. They don't accomplish anything. Nothing positive ever comes out of an argument with them. Maintain your dignity, even when the narcissist is unable to. Rise above all that noise and distractions they bring. When you can do that, I promise you, a wave of relief will run through your body. Thanks so much for watching. And always remember, watch for the signs. Be alert. Be vigilant. Be strong, be brave, and go live your best life today.